So my name's Brenton Zampatti and I'm a fish ecologist with Zampatti Aquatic Sciences, which is one of the research institutes in South Australia. And I work on fish ecology projects throughout the southern Murray-Darling Basin. Ever since I can remember, I've loved water, and I had a grandfather who was an angler, and I think he probably fostered early on my interest in fishing. And then once you start fishing, you're by the sea or by a river and you're just looking at what's in the river and you're thinking about what the fish are eating, and it just goes from there. And all of a sudden you might want to be a marine biologist or a freshwater fish ecologist. And so I think now I work in a job. I think I'm so fortunate that I work in a job that I love. Fish are important just because they're there, because they're fish, but they're also they're a charismatic, very visible part of the river or of the estuary. And I think people can easily relate to them. If you say to someone, oh, the little bugs are doing okay, which means you've got a healthy estuary, they just don't quite get it. But if you say that there's black bream in the estuary and that there's Murray cod swimming around in the river, and that means the river's healthy, they get it straight away. So, I mean, I suppose I look at it from a big picture and think of a healthy ecosystem, and the fish are part of that. But for many people, it's about that simple thing of, well, if there's Murray cod in the river, it's a healthy river. Probably one of the key projects that I've been involved in has been the Murray Fishways project, which has been a collaborative tri-state project looking at the function of the fishways that are being built from the sea to Lake Hume. One of the great things about that project is that we work as 3 states, and South Australia, New South Wales and Victoria, and we've got fisheries scientists and technicians that work all on that one project. And I think that project's probably a great example of how the NFS has fostered communication and collaboration between the states, not only for scientists and researchers, but also for policy people and managers. And that occurs between scientists, but also between the scientists and the managers. And I think it's really one of the things that the NFS has done particularly well. I think another example is I've been involved in the Fish Passage Task Force, which is a multidisciplinary group that has guided the Murray Fishways project. And that task force has engineers involved in it. It also has scientists, river operators and river managers. And all those people have come to the table in order to advance the Fishways program. And once again, it's pretty unique. It's pretty unique, I think, in natural resource management within the basin. And some of those relationships have endured and are now operating outside of the Fish Passage Task Force. And so, say within South Australia, I work much closer with the river operators and the managers than we would have a few years ago. So I actually think that that's one of the great things to come out of the NFS, was the forging of those relationships, and I think hopefully we can continue those into the future. A lot of the things regarding the NFS come down to individuals and the personalities involved. And so whether it be people early on like Jim Barrett or individual researchers who are good at bringing people together, and Janet Pritchard's a classic for it, the ability to bring people together and foster those relationships. And I think we see it with the native fish strategy coordinators as well, that the individuals like Tony and Jason Hyam and John O. as well, some of them had strong personalities. Phil Duncan as well, and they just sort of they have this way of just bringing people together and making it cohesive. It's good. It's good people. It comes down to people, and we're all passionate about fish.